Hello, everyone. This is another episode of the More You Look podcast. My name remains Femi Anthony, and I've got my G here with me, Sky. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm great, man. It's a bit cold. It's a cold month, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And it's been a bit awkward, really. The cold. I don't know about your area, but it's been really, really cold. And when I check out the weather forecast, it's saying 2 degrees, but it feels like -10 to me, man.
Yeah, but let's look at the, I don't know if it's good or bad, but the second lockdown is over.
Thankfully.
But as far as I'm concerned, with ongoings in I would say the media and what we are seeing in the communities, people are still dying. The numbers are still increasing, but I don't know. The second lockdown, I don't know if we can even term it as a lockdown because people were just moving about and going about their businesses like it's nothing. People are still refusing to wear masks. People are refusing to social distance. The reason why we can be this way is because we've been in the same bubble ever since the beginning. And this is another episode of the program. And the first thing I would like us to discuss today is the new, what do they call it? The new visa application process under, what's it called? The UK point-based system. What they are calling is simple and flexible, but I would like us to bring awareness to shed some light on this for whoever's watching us, because the truth is not many people know about this new point-based immigration system, and it's going to be starting from 1st of January 2021. Because then free movement as we know it will end in the UK, and people that are not British will have to go through a point-based immigration system. And let's discuss what this actually means, what it entails. Basically, what it means is if you're in Nigeria, South Africa, or any of the European countries, anywhere in Africa, and basically anywhere in the world, and you are trying to come into the UK, into England, probably to work, you have to go through a system where first thing you have to have been offered a job from a Home Office licensed sponsor.
Yeah, that's if you're coming to work.
If you're coming to work here. And that job offer has to be at a required skill level. They call it RQF, that's required skill 3, but it's just equivalent of A level, say in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, or any of the African countries. You have to be able to speak English. And in addition to this, it says on here on the UK Gov website that the job offer must meet the applicable minimum salary threshold. And what that means is, say I'm in Nigeria now and I'm trying to come to the UK to work. The company, you go do your research online, you find a company that is Home Office licensed. The company has to sort of tick all the boxes for you as somebody who wants to go work for them. And the work you are going to be doing for this company has to meet a salary threshold of £25,600. I genuinely don't know how people are to go about this. That's probably if you're going to be a nurse or a pharmacist or something, because I don't know what jobs you would apply from all the way from Africa or South America or something
that
would pay that much.
It's really difficult because normally I think not even in nursing nursing fine, but in all the jobs in healthcare, like healthcare assistant, which is more approachable and easier to get than
Yeah, but how much do you think they are paid?
That's what I was gonna say. Starting salary starts from £7 an hour. You know?
Basically, let's just say minimum wage.
Yeah.
Minimum wage. So
you're not going to get 26,000 from that.
So if we break this down, the next step, it says all applicants will be able to trade characteristics such as their qualifications against a lower salary to get the required number of points. So for example, if the job offer is less than the minimum salary requirements, but no less than £20,480, an applicant may still be eligible. A job offer in a specific shortage occupation. Basically, what they are saying to you is, if you're a graduate in Nigeria, obviously that has surpassed the A levels, and you want to go abroad or basically to England to come work. You can apply for these jobs. Just go online, apply for lots of jobs. I've seen a tweet here from Twitter handle at Elay55. And what this person is saying is that, number one, the first point is to have your papers in order. Two,
talk about paper, that's bank statement.
You have to have your passport. You know, when you came into this country, what were the papers that you came in with? Because you have to be able to prove that you can sustain yourself, that you are not going to come here and be homeless. You know, you have to show bank statements showing that you are at some point going to be going back to the country you came from.
That you have affiliations back home.
That's the word I was looking for. So your papers have to be in order. You have to find someone living in that country. It's easier when you know people that actually live in England already, that have been living here. They know the setup of the country. They know how things work. They are in the best position to sort of check your CV, help you find training, the adequate training to prepare you for, you know, when you get here, and, you know, to tackle certain interview questions that you are going to be facing. Because even now, every time and again, my wife does help out quite a few people with, you know, interview questions when they are trying to apply for jobs in our company. So number 3, it says here, use YouTube or job server. What does it say? Okay, to be able to align your CV, you have to be able to put your CV in order. Because the thing is, you are probably living in Nigeria. You've never left Nigeria, but you're trying to work for international companies. Most of the time, it's going to be the NHS. Because let's be honest with ourselves. Most people who come from Africa to work here, they actually come to work as pharmacists, nurses, doctors. Even when they're doing IT, it's still for the NHS.
I mean, you could dream and say, oh, when I come here, I'm going to be a banker. But trust me,
dude, let me tell you, when I came into this country, my barber, the guy who cuts my hair, is a certified engineer from Nigeria. When he realized, when harsh reality hit him, like Mike Tyson's uppercut, he realized that, look, you have to go back to the drawing board. And for him, it was learning to cut hair. And trust me, after a few years, he started doing very well. I know bank managers that came to this country 15, 20 years ago, and the only thing they had to do was work at McDonald's at first. Because you have to do something to get you going. See, that is one thing about living abroad. You don't come into this country and then sit down. Because the moment you land, bills start going.
Exactly, start going. They don't give you like
even if you are squatting with someone, they give you a 1 week grace as welcome.
And let's get this straight. And they're not trying to be mean.
They're not trying to be mean. They have bills too.
They have an overhead.
So if you are sleeping in their house, using their electricity, using their water, eating, at some point you have to contribute, my G. So we do so you avoid stories that touch. So one other thing I would like to tell people who are trying to make use of this new point-based visa system is that whatever you do, you are trying to go abroad to work, make sure you master Excel and PowerPoint.
Yeah.
These are things people overlook. These are things people overlook because you need to understand most companies in Nigeria, they do use Excel and PowerPoint, but let's be honest with ourselves. If you are somebody that has been working in the public sector, you are likely not to be aware of these things, not to be conversant with the things, the tools that you need to operate on a day-to-day basis. And it says on here, have no shame. I love this guy, this at LA55, because the points is outlined in here. So let's go back to UK Gov. It's quite in depth. It says here, a job offer in a specific shortage occupation. If you have a PhD relevant to a particular job, a PhD in a STEM subject relevant to the job. So basically what people need to understand is, it says on here, if you get offer of job from an approved sponsor, that is 20 points. If you earn salary of 23,000 to 25,599, that gives you like 10 points tradable. So what I would advise is you can go to www.gov.uk to do a bit of research on the new point-based visa.
Just Google it. Just Google new UK. What I did today was UK new points-based immigration system. So if you use that as a keyword, we'll try and put it on the screen for you as well.
One thing I realized, it's just me and my warped mind. Let's be honest. Do you think the UK is doing this because they are just trying to be nice? Because I know they are not. I know that coronavirus has really battered this country, and the economy. The economy is on the ropes already, and they're just doing this to try and get some people in to pump money into the economy, more workforce, and But what I don't get is with the thousands and thousands of people that have lost their jobs already, why not just put these vacancies out, train people, and
Yeah, but that too is a bit tricky. Don't forget, who are the people that rush to workforce in this country? Foreigners, So at the end of the day, they still have to reach out. But as far as reaching out is concerned, I don't even think this is generous enough. Because if you are saying people have to have an employer that is willing to pay 26,000, or the going rate for your job role, and they specifically said whichever is higher, so they expect your job role to be paid more than 26k. So for you to get someone, that
my question is even
for a foreigner that
they don't even know, they've not tried and tested. They've not trained. They've not. Remember, in this country, there's one thing they put you on a probation period. They don't know if you are going to come here and become a motherfucker that they need to let loose. Exactly. So I don't know. I don't
think it's generous enough. But that said, it's just like you said. Most economy around the world, apart from Donald Trump's, because he continue claiming.
Please don't mention that man's name.
It's better under him than any other government.
Please don't. It's Wakanda. It's ruling Wakanda in his head.
So I don't think they're trying to prop up the economy, trying to get more workforce. So that the economy can get going. Can get back on the street.
So wherever you are outside of the UK, if you're interested in this, honestly, we really don't know much. We don't. But what I realized is, all through yesterday, I made sure that I asked 11 different people if they have heard of this new thing, and they all said no. So what that tells me is most people don't even know.
Yeah.
Whenever they are bringing out something that is relatively something you can describe as good, is low key. But if they are going to announce names of Nigerian scammers that they have arrested or whatever, they plaster it all over everywhere. They will drill it into your skull as much as they want. So, if you are interested in this could be a way out. Google it, do a lot of research, call that your family that lives abroad in the UK, call that your auntie or uncle, tell them to help you find out as much as they can. Okay? and then start making your move.
Then before we move on, let me ask you, what is still the best? Because I get this question. People ask me a lot. A lot of my friends outside the country will believe that it'd be nicer for them to come here as well. What would you advise is still the best way to get into the UK system? What routes? Because we've just only talked about work now. We've got visiting. We've got you could even actually come for training actually, which doesn't go by this point.
Well,
what route is still? Do you think is still the easiest?
Well, since they started this new point-based
System,
rubbish,
yeah.
we could say this is the. I would say this is like this is what looks like the smoothest way of getting into the country for now, because people will always have ways.
Yeah.
People come into this country with holiday visas, knowing fully well they are not going back.
Yeah.
And when they get here, if you don't know what's happening, our cameraman is laughing behind this. There's nothing to laugh about now. Think about it. We think about it. Because we come from Nigeria, we can only speak on what we know. Nigeria, for me, is not a country you want to live in as a youth. If you are between 22 or let's say 25 and you're 35, you should not be in Nigeria presently. I am not, because people will say, oh, all of us can't run out, all of us. That's up to you. That is up to you. But
if you can,
Nigeria as a country is a wonderful, beautiful place. Okay?
No doubt about it.
But the people that are in charge of Nigeria, they are destiny destroyers. Okay? They are life ruiners. They will ruin your life.
They don't even believe you have a right to.
They don't believe you have a right to that life.
Any welfare.
They do not. They do not.
Facilities. Anyways,
just yesterday, I digress. Just yesterday, I was reading about this soldier who was on a bus. He saw a woman that he felt was indecently dressed. He jumped down from the bus, right? Stripped her naked.
Oh my God.
Beat the shit out of her. Got back on the bus and
left.
Yeah. Do you know why he did that? Do you want me to tell you why?
Right.
Because he knows that nothing will happen to him. No consequences. In a country where there are no consequences, day-to-day living becomes...
I probably sound like a broken record by now, because I keep saying it on this podcast. Nigeria is a country where anything goes.
The leaders don't care.
You understand? The only time you get in trouble, like I always say, is if, for instance, you're in politics and you're a member of the opposition party, that the opposition party too, the ruling party. That's when you get in trouble. Look at this guy that they said they brought back from was he Niger Republic? I don't know if you saw it in the news. There was this guy that EFCC is parading around the media that the guy ran away for embezzling money, from local government. So the guy was, he was brought back. Basically that guy. The only reason everybody's hearing about him now is because probably he's in PDP. Probably.
Look.
For me, sorry to digress. There's something that I think I wanted us to talk about. Probably we'll find time to talk about it. But I'll just mention it. There's this guy, Wellington Jigeri, World Scrabble champion, former champion. This guy quit. He just quit the sport now, basically because, according to him, he's being held up to 10 years.
I heard about
10
that.
years winnings.
But here's the thing. Think about this for a minute.
Nigeria.
What is the MO of the Nigerian government? Look at all our stars, our athletes, who have actually made the effort to put us on the world map. How have they been treated? What was Rashidi Yekini's what was his he died in Tata penury. So I do not blame all these world-class athletes that you see either running for Portugal, playing football for England, naturalizing in other countries. Look, you have to be truthful to yourself at some point. You can deceive the whole world, but you cannot deceive yourself. You're only doing yourself, disservice. Let's put patriotism. There's patriotism on one hand. There's stupidity on the other. Even now, there are people saying, oh, the Nigerian government knows what they're doing, Buhari knows what he's doing, and you can barely feed yourself for a day. Let's just go back. We've digressed too much. Let's go back to what we were saying. We were saying different ways people come into this country.
Yeah.
Before Niyi started laughing behind the camera, we said people will come into this country with holiday visa and then stay here and not leave. And try to find jobs that, you can get cash in hand payments. And while they're doing that, there are people who is this not dry snitching though? Because well, the government knows that the government knows. The government knows because there are people who come into the country with student visa. They apply to a school or a college from wherever country they are coming from. When they get here, they know that after that course ends, even if it's a 6 months course, 1 year course, 1.5 years, whatever year, when the course ends, you can actually, what do you call it now? When you can extend that visa, and while they are here, they could get a British citizen pregnant. The people do arranging marriage. I won't define that. I won't tell you. I won't define what arranging marriage is. But they have clamped down on that one too now. Yeah. So, and some people come here on business. But I think this point-based thing makes a bit of sense and it lacks hassle if you can follow the steps, which is why I am sort of.
Femi, I don't know why you're pro this system. I'm definitely not pro,
Because Priti Patel's name is all over it.
How do you get a job offer outside the country?
That's the problem. Because even people in the country cannot even get these jobs, and they are here.
I came in. Okay,
they are here now.
I have a background in media. I studied media, and me on getting here, I was like, oh shit, I can get on Sky Sport.
People are thinking you can work at BBC, Abi. That was the first thing I thought.
I applied. The funniest thing. I must have sent over 1,000 applications in my first year here. Not one response.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Not one response.
Imagine if you are applying from Nigeria.
And listen, someone told me something. There's a friend of my partner, my spouse. She was saying it to someone that I overheard. Basically, her name. When you hear her name, you think she's English. The surname is Dixon, but I'm not gonna.
You think that we hear Olufumi Loye? And what the hell does he think he wants to come do here?
So basically, what happened is normally
wait.
Then people do a lot of money back.
I'm laughing. The cameraman is pissing himself laughing behind the camera. And apart from that, what I just thought of? You are saying they didn't give you a reply. But I think of this. You are a referee in Nigeria, right? You are a referee or you are a linesman, and you think maybe you studied like those called sports management. And you're like, if I get to UK, they have a whole football league. They have like 55 leagues inside of it. And you start applying from Nigeria. How many black referees do you even see in the Premiership? Yeah, or like man.
We gotta be realistic.
And they will now open your email. Majekodunmi Ojuolape from Bariga.
Oluwafemi Agbabiaka.
Bro.
Oh my god. So I mean, let's be realistic. That's why I'm not too pro about this system. It's straightforward, like you said. Mm-hmm. But the number, let's just say
it seems to have a lot of obstacles.
Yeah. So it says you have a total of 70 points that you need to be able to apply to work in the UK. Mm-hmm. The first one
is skilled worker.
Yeah, no. The first one is you have to have offer of job by approved sponsor. Mm-hmm. Now, an approved sponsor must have applied with the government and all that, blah, blah, blah. But
and if I had a company, why would I stress myself going all that level to apply for somebody I do not know? When I have, like, I can put a vacancy out here on Indeed or any of these job sites.
Yeah,
and they're like 300
jobs that you struggle to get people to fill. Like myself and my company, I've been trying to get staff. You know, they come after 3 weeks or whatever. I find out they're lazy or they quit and all that. But yeah, but to get an offer of job is the hardest of this all. You understand? Because people want to be sure that you are okay. Femi, let's say like where you live. You know. Do you think if you apply for jobs that are in Watford, where I live, do you think you're going to get a response? The way the UK works normally, they like people having their response.
They want to know that you will be able to be turning up for work.
Exactly, and you won't have to be
and here's the issue.
Late and all that. So
when you apply for a job, the things they always ask, the question they ask most of the time is, do you drive?
Yeah, do you drive? Yeah, exactly.
Where do you live?
Yeah, where do you live, you know?
Because they want to be sure. Now, if they say, do you drive? You can even say yes. Yeah. Where do you live? Onepan.
Are you willing to relocate? Yes. Who would not want to move from Onepan to Essex?
See, we are not making fun of you guys because this is.
You know the right spelling is Onupanu.
Onupanu,
it doesn't end at that end.
Or you say Okukumaiko.
You there or Okukumaiko.
So they're asking for 70 points, right?
I mean, I grew up in Mount Su.
I don't even know how Nigerians can actually benefit from this.
It is really hard, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
If you can get yourself on this route, trust me, it will be easier for you because then you can work. Now, I asked you a question. What is the best route for someone to come into the country?
If I tell you, they will arrest me.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you. Because the reason why I asked is that I get a lot of people asking me this, and a lot of people feel they can come in with visiting. Right now,
but you tell me, you explain to me how you can come in with visiting and stay. Explain.
No, you can't stay. That's what I'm saying. I keep telling them this, but they don't listen. It feels like it's hard.
Okay, what if
you only have you have about
3 months or 6 months?
No, you have about 2 advantages. One is you can familiarize yourself with
do all your research in that time.
Rules, you know. Even
if it is school, that's what I'm saying. If it is school, you want to come to study.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, and it is good that we are having this conversation now. I must have offended quite a few people because you have friends that will just hit me up on Facebook and say, look, I'm looking to study this, that from a university there. Can you help me research this? I understand. Yeah. But you need to know what my schedule is. For me to live where I'm living here and travel 3-4 hours for you to go and start investigating, researching, so it's not going to be easy for me. So if it is something that you can do while you're here on a 6 months visiting visa,
then it works.
You have all the time in the world.
Exactly.
If within that time you can do enough research about the NHS, if that's where you want to work, you can do IT.
I mean, you can even apply and attend interviews.
There you go.
And let them know that look, I'm only on visiting.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go back to my country and come back.
Do you know you've just given us a solution now?
Yeah.
Remember you asked me earlier how this can work for people coming from the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
That is how it can work. It's going to cost you money. And this is how it will cost you money. First, get yourself on that visiting visa. Yeah. If it's 3 months, it doesn't matter. If it's 6 months.
Exactly.
When you get here, 3 months, 6 months, all the time you need.
Start applying.
Research. Don't go to where do they normally go? The popular places.
Know your priorities, you know.
Research. If you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, whatever you want to do, if you want to work in IT, whatever it is, you have enough time to do research. Yeah. Ask questions from people who actually live there. Yeah. Look at how it works. How much is it going to cost you? You know, to go from London to go work outside London, or from outside London to London. There are certain people living inside of this country who don't even know these things.
Yeah, exactly.
People, that's your uncle and auntie that lives abroad. They won't have time to be doing all this for you. They can actually, go above and beyond, depending on how you are, how you've been to them, the relationship you have.
Yeah, but how much time they took.
And how much time they have. This is what most people don't understand. Oh, Femi doesn't want to help me do this. Fam, sometimes I work 17 hours. The only thing on my mind is sleep.
My wife.
Do the school run, sleep. I won't have time to go to Oxford from Kent. Be traveling everywhere because of you.
Bro, my wife has just come off of 5 days straight nights. 5 days straight. So that means during the day.
All she wants to do is sleep.
To eat is just
yeah. So please explain to me how she's going to have time to travel from here to the West Midlands. Because you want to come and do school.
You understand?
You don't understand.
As she's coming home, as she's coming home in the morning, I'm off to work. That's
And what are the advantages of coming here first? The UK, the immigration service, they have one thing they do.
Yeah.
They also check history.
Yeah, your travel history.
Have you been here before? This person came back for 3 months, 6 months visiting, and they went back 5 months into that 6 months. Good. So then you've done all your research, you have armed yourself with enough information, you've applied for enough jobs, you've gone to enough interviews where you have a feel of how interviews go in this country.
Exactly.
So by the time they do video interview for you while you're in Nigeria, you won't look like a stupid idiot. You have some experience of how interviews work.
This thing really helps in this level,
So it's not when they ask you what are your flaws, you won't say do anime. You understand? No, it's true.
You're saying it's spot on, man.
You understand? So but the issue here is not many will have that money. But let's be honest with ourselves. Even people who want to come and work here, you will get that money from somewhere.
Exactly.
Because they will check what's in your account anyway. They need to be sure that you have affiliations back home that you are going back to. So the beginning and end of what we're just saying, all jokes aside, is that this is worth looking into if you're tired of the destiny destroying colony that many of you live in right now and many of us escaped from too. So it's not a joking matter. Look into it. Go on Google. Ask your uncle, your auntie, your best friend living abroad. That is if you yourself are not a piece of shit individual. Because if you have been a terrible person and you are trying to ask me to check anything for you, you are wasting your time, mate. So, ask people for information, arm yourself, and then start looking for those documents, okay? Transcripts, all that stuff, your qualifications, and things like that. And while you're waiting for the processing to come through, it's never too bad to harm yourself with one skill or the other. If it's how to make hair, if it's how to cut hair, electrician.
Electrician.
Yeah, electronics stuff, mechanical engineering stuff. Just arm yourself with a skill. Just yesterday, I got locked out of my house again. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It cost me 200 quid, mate. 200 quid just to change the mechanism on the door.
Wow.
You know what? The funny thing is, I want you to bear me witness now because it seems like I'm lying. Look, that's the invoice. Look, how much did I pay there?
200.
I'm not joking. Yeah, just to change the mechanism on my door. I got locked out.
Man.
200 quid. He did not spend 30 minutes because he already had the thing he needed in his car. They buy all those things at the ready. So they already know what is likely to be the problem. It's just the door anyway. What else could go wrong? Not many things. So when they come, they check, it's that. I paid 200 cash for 30 minutes job. So you see what I'm saying? So arm yourself with these skills. We didn't have anyone to advise us when we were coming through. We've said this over and over again in all the episodes. And so that's the thing. New UK point-based visa system. It's worth looking into. And let's move on. I wish you all good luck on your search. And we'll meet each other here soon on the streets of the UK. So before we go too far, let's briefly discuss our Nigerian album of the week. On the next episode, whatever album we're going to be discussing is going to be from outside of Nigeria, because this is not exclusive to Nigeria only. And I think you were telling me about an album that recently came out after. His name is Q. Right? Q. Alagbe. I like him for one thing. I've heard some of his songs where he sings like this cherubim and seraphim church. You get that cherubim seraphim church vibes, when he's singing.
I'm not quite sure, but he also in some of the songs in the album, he also sounds like a Muslim, you know. So I don't know. Maybe probably he has a background in both. You know, he could be one of those that probably the dad is a Muslim, the mom is a celestial. Yeah, we call those
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And some say is I won't say reincarnation.
Yeah,
Nice is not dead, but let's just say his career is more or less like, I won't say in the coffin presently. Sorry about that, but it's like the new Nice. Nice resurrected. Even though I think you said he featured Nice on the album.
Yeah, there's a song that has Nice on the album, and I mean, for
me though, I'm not really big into those kind of yeah. I do like Nice. I like his style, and I like Q Dots. There are some of the songs that I really like. Yeah. But
I have about 2 albums for this week, which is Timaya Gratitude and Q Dots Alagbe. I think I kind of prefer the Q Dots one, bro.
But you would. There are 2 totally different styles. 2 different kind of albums.
Generally, as far as albums.
Okay, something to listen to.
Wizkid's album was great. I mean, it's great. Wizkid's album was. I mean, Davido's album too was badass, you know. But when we talked about those, I did like Davido's own better.
Yeah.
It doesn't take from the genuinity and the
originality
the hard work of Wizkid. It's just my own personal preference. So for you, what album would you think you prefer?
Well, for me, it would have to be Timaya because I would get tired easily listening. This is how I see it. If I listen to Q Dot's Alagbe's album, same way with Nice when Gongaso came out, it's not something I would put on it does not have that replay value to me. I get bored really easily. So when I listen to songs like Timaya's new album, it's something you can replay. It's just that we have to keep going back to this, the Davido Wizkid thing. Wizkid album is solid. Davido's album is solid. But for me personally, I believe Davido's album has that replayability. For me, replay value is everything. You can keep hearing those songs and you don't get tired of it. And that's just how it is for me when it comes to Timaya and Q Dot's Alagbe's album. Both solid albums, but
what song do you? Okay, let me say mine first. Anyways, my own favorite song in Q Dot's album has to be this one. Before, I kind of preferred the before, but just listen to this. After ranking, can you play on that one? Maggie. I mean, the Pato ranking featuring, it was spot on, you know. And obviously, everybody know the best featuring Niniola. That's been, a hit. Over time, I think he released that one probably over going to more than a year now or something, but that one was really good. And I liked obviously, and
I think he did a song for his mother or his father or something.
There was one that was for his mother. I don't think that one is
How come artists never sing? How many songs do you know that any artist has done for fathers?
Honestly, women.
Somebody said something somewhere. I've forgotten how they said like the only species, the only thing that gets unconditional love is women and dogs. Men only exist for providing, and the moment you cease to be able to do that,
you lose your.
That is it.
Value.
That is just it.
When women talk about a lot of things.
Do you know that recently we had do you know what did they say, Women's Day or Men's Day or something?
Yeah.
Father, nobody. Some women were even commenting on Twitter that men they've done enough damage in this world. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Everybody sings for their mom. Nobody sings for the dad. Yeah. Crazy.
I think at the end of the day, the way I would approach what you're saying is this. For me, I think the fact that most men, from their childhood, they always tend to have a soft spot for their parent and for their mom. Just like me now. My sister will always say, my mom is always and while my dad doesn't joke with her, so she is the daddy's girl, and I'm mommy's boy, basically, So maybe that's why. And if you look at most people that sing about their parents, it's usually guys. I can't really remember any song from the top of my head, by a female MC or a female musician.
I don't think I don't think there's any song. I don't think there's any.
I do not think there's any.
No?
So you ladies, man, to challenge, man. Come on. Some of you,
Men don't matter unless they are bringing. Fam, I'll tell you what, man. In this life, as a man, is either you're bringing something to the table or you will find yourself on the menu.
Exactly.
Easy. Easy. Once you're not providing, you don't matter.
All right, back to the music. So what songs is your favorite from Timaya's ones?
Well, to be honest with you, I like Gra Gra.
Yeah, that's a good.
For me, that is the best song on the album because it's just like I won't call it dancehall, but it's something you can sort of vibe out to when you're in your car, or
But you know what? Despite that has been.
Do you know that there's a certain growth you can notice with Timaya's career? Like it's more laid back, low key, not arguing with anyone on the internet and stuff like that.
Talking about how's this for maturity? What he said in talking about that maturity, that's what I want to build on. There was a part in this song, this Don Dada song, where it says, I want to get all the money in the world, but I don't want to go to the club and blow it up in one night. There was a time that me coming from event planning back in the days, 2007 up until 2012, I think, I knew a time that Timaya was always wanting to be in the club, pop champagne.
It's good.
Some of his songs, but for him to be saying that.
Stop that, we don't have a license for.
Yeah, so that maturity again is in him, and I really kind of like his music. Don't get me wrong, I always love Timaya, but I just kind of like, maybe because I'm a Yoruba boy anyways, I kind of like flow.
Timaya is not Yoruba though.
It's not Yoruba. No, that's why I said maybe that's why I kind of like Q Dots, and I was born and raised Celestial. You understand? I went to Celestial churches most of my life, so yeah, that's why I kind of like.
There's one question I've been waiting to ask you, and me too. You can, because he's been laughing since we started this. Are you going to be excitedly, what do you call it, surrendering yourself to be jabbed with the new vaccine?
It's been.
Yes or no? Are you taking the vaccine?
I would take it. I would take it.
You are a liar.
No, Femi, I'll take it. But the reason why, if I need it, I would take it.
Not if you need it. Not if you need it. They say the vaccine is as ready to go as next week. And if they say, okay, everybody line up, let's start pricking you with the vaccine. Are you going to surrender your?
In that case, if you put it that way, then the answer is no.
Why?
But I have my reasons.
Why?
No, my reason is not because of the African, debates.
You don't want to start backing like a dog.
No, that's not the reason.
In the middle of the night.
Because I feel like I don't need it. Like I don't know if I.
Why don't you need it?
I think I have a strong immune system.
See this guy. You think your immune system?
My wife had the virus. Did I not tell you that?
Yes, you did.
She had it. I was on the same bed with her a week, before we went for a test.
And
I didn't get it.
Both of you didn't die.
Thankfully she survived. She works in the NHS. She didn't get it. So I don't think I need it. You understand? I don't.
You know that vaccines actually protect you.
I'm already protected, so why do I need it? But Femi, that's why I'm saying that. But if I feel like I need it, not because I'm an African. I'm not saying this because conspiracies and all that. Someone was talking to me all the way from Nigeria. I was like, are you gonna take the vaccine? I said, yes, I will take it. If I need it, I will take it. I don't have anything against it.
Okay.
Because I've been following the news. from Pfizer to the one from Cambridge and all that. I don't think there's any conspiracies with it.
You see, the thing is, I've asked so many people this question, so many, and I won't lie to you, even people working within the healthcare sector in this country, and quite a few of them are also skeptical about the vaccine. I think it's just human nature. It's human nature because, based on history, I don't know, some people will tell you, oh, I don't want to be one of the first set of people to get it.
Yeah.
And people will say, oh, I will take it, but I want to wait first to see if there's any adverse reactions with people who get it.
But
so
let's be honest, it would be weird if something major that is affecting the whole global population, and a vaccine comes out and everybody's saying yes, we want it. It would be weird.
You can't please everyone anyway.
Husband and wife, agree on.
That is why
100%
people vote for different political parties.
Exactly.
People like different foods.
This is not us being
good. No, we're not being negative. At the end of the day, we will still take it if it's going to save our lives, which is why they've created it. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We just have to, fingers crossed, hope that it does what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
Before we get off that topic, one thing that crossed my mind yesterday, I put a post on my Facebook, and which was, so what happens when everyone comes out and gets this vaccine and the numbers keep rising and people still dying? What happens then?
I don't think that's.
And I put Thanos under my post because you know what it says? I'm inevitable. You can't run away from me. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not what's gonna happen. So when the vaccine comes, we will all line up on the streets of Rome. Arms outside. So. Okay. Moving on, because we have to round up now. Tweet of the week. I stumbled across this tweet from.
I have something better than yours.
Really? I'm going to run through mine in 20 seconds. But what I find, I think maybe it's because I relate to this. Trust me, we can do a whole podcast episode on this. From the handle is Kate Kelly, Esquire. And it says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but hyper independence is the result of trauma. I don't need anybody. I must do everything myself. Really means my ability to trust has been injured by people systematically letting me down and failing me. You need people, we all do. Honestly, I read that and I felt attacked because it's taking me a long time to sort of even allow.
But that first of all, I take my beating that tweet back. That affects almost everybody.
Almost everyone. Yeah.
But secondly, I think when people get to the stage where they feel they don't need any people, they don't just arrive there because they want to. Not everybody, at least. They've been
let down so many times. Basically, like what she said.
It just feels hard to trust other people, to welcome them in, especially when you are given the reins for some vital things about your life to another people. But that doesn't give away the fact that we need people. Okay, so if you can and try, and
no man is an island.
Energy.
People also need to learn not to be pieces of shit.
Exactly.
Because when you keep finding yourself with piece of shit people, then you arrive at that. I don't need people.
Especially when you're bubble.
Share your stuff with us. Let's hear it.
It's a bit lengthy, but I'm
let's
going to
hear
try
it.
and
Read through it fast because we have to go.
It's not a tweet, it's a post on Facebook, so that's why it's lengthy. So I'm going to read the first paragraph, then the last paragraph, just to summarize it. So basically, this lady, Full Zaki Grace, she says that there was a time when reading the Saturday and Sunday Punch newspapers and all that, were the highlights of my weekends. When I think about some of the stories of entrepreneurs that I read then, I feel like I wasted my time. It was when I got older that I realized those interviews focused on the rah-rah than the true realities of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. For example, Al John built a multimillionaire empire from his village with only 15 naira. Now, fast forward to the ending. It says, what happens is that when people do interviews, about successful people, they don't seem to act, and I find myself guilty about this. This is why I kind of like this post. I've had some celebrities here, and I think I must have missed asking them, maybe in order to be polite to them, you don't want to ask them the nitty gritty of how exactly they actually made their wealth. Because let's face it, you've had some rough time, have had some rough time. Mostly everybody has, so we don't talk about those rough times in detail so that you can truly inspire people. Because when you listen to success stories, you see that somebody made it.
I started. I had 5 naira.
Yeah,
so I bought one chicken. 2 months time, I had a poultry with 50 million chicken,
and all that. So
and here we are.
We need to start telling more of our stories on doing business in Nigeria. Entrepreneurs, please talk about your challenges and how you faced them and won. Talk about the time when custom officials seized your containers of rice because you refused to settle. When your employees, and this one is, it happens to most people, even when you have a small shop. When employees siphon cash made from your sales, or when you struggle to pay salaries, don't just tell us about how you worked hard and God favored you. Although you are not obligated to share your journey, but when you are invited to an event to speak to youths, please stop sugarcoating things. I'll leave it there.
I think it makes sense. And following off of that, there is a lady here called April Brasha. She wrote something on Twitter, and it goes, "The ugly side of entrepreneurship is having your phone ringing like crazy one week to not ringing at all the next. It's making 3,000 one week and making 300 the next. It's been excited one week and nervous as hell the next." A lot of people don't share that part of entrepreneurship. What I would say is, anywhere you live around the world, excuse me, well, what do they call this? Your income will never be enough. You need multiple streams of income without doing anything illegal. And for you to be able to do that, no way you will dabble one way or the other into entrepreneurship. One way or the other. But do not, what do they call it? Do not walk away from your job, because some people have sugar-coated how sweet entrepreneurship can be. It's a lot of heartbreak. It's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot. People struggle mentally based on entrepreneurship. I know people who can tell you this. This second lockdown, I've driven a lot of people crazy. So good luck if you're an entrepreneur out there. Don't forget to support small businesses. And as we round up this episode, I just want to say, if you're struggling mentally, reach out to someone. Don't just bottle things up. It never helps anyone. It only adds to the problem. All right. Till we meet again on the next episode, I remain Femi.
And I remain Mr. Sky.
Sky, Adekoko from Okoko Michael. Delete email.
I am willing to relocate.
Delete email.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.